Hey folks, welcome back. Found an old friend, Dick Young here. We're in a backyard of a house south of Buffalo, and I told everybody out front we're going to learn what foundation piering is, and that's P-I-E-R-I-N-G. What is it?
Piering is a procedure that's used to stop a house from moving downward movement or settlement of a foundation.
Okay.
Steel piers are put in under that footer or foundation, and these piers are taken down to what's called competent load-bearing strata or bedrock.
All right.
In most cases, it goes down to bedrock, and bedrock generally is about 27 feet. Some areas it's much deeper, but the piers are taken down to this bedrock, and what that does is it transfers the load of the structure from the soil that's giving way, transfers that weight down to rock, and that's the end of the movement.
Okay, and then once this shaft is sunk into the ground, down to the bedrock alongside the house, you've got something that goes in there to support the basement floor?
Yeah, well, it supports the basement foundation. And this is a steel bracket that goes under the footer or foundation. And this bracket is load tested to 101,000 pounds.
Wow.
So when that bracket is once in, the house is never going to move down.
Okay, that's good.
And this is a type of pier that's called a helical pier is what we're putting in today.
All right.
And a helical is a pier that's screwed into the ground. There's another type of pier that's used for heavy structures, commercial buildings, and that's a push pier where that's literally pushed into the ground. But in this case, it's screwed in, and this is the lead of it, where you have an 8-inch helix or screw thread. 3 feet up, you've got a 12-inch helix. And those are screwed into the ground, and they're in 5-foot lengths. So every 5 feet, you just continue to add a length on until you get down to whatever depth is necessary.
And this was probably evidenced in the house by a lot of cracking in foundation or walls or something, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, there are some severe wall cracks in the basement and in the jump wall going into the crawl space. There's some drywall cracks, doors don't work.
You mind if we go in and
sure.
see what's going on in the basement?
Yeah, let's take a look inside.
Sounds good. Well, I can see how a crack like that would be cause for a little concern.
Well, it certainly is. And there's actually several of those cracks that are out of the view.
Yeah.
But that's a substantial crack. And what's happening here, the jump wall, the wall going into the crawl space is called a jump wall or stem wall. That has a crack in it, and that substantial crack in the basement wall and the crawl space wall.
Yeah.
On the other side of that crawl space is the garage. So what's happening, this area has split, dropped, and is sinking because the soil that supports it isn't competent to bear the load.
All right, so, and this is the thing that's going to go in there. What is that called?
This is the bracket.
The bracket. It'll go in right onto the wall there.
Yeah, and that fits under the footer. Then the pier, the same as what we're doing on the outside, that pier is driven through the floor as we have the floor open, and that's taken down to bedrock.
Now, this one is not the only one inside you're doing. You're doing a couple on the in the crawl space?
Yeah, that's correct. There's going to be 2 on the other side of the jump wall, 1 on the side wall with the garage, and 1 on the rear wall.
Well, Dick, I think our viewers are going to want to know at what point do they give you a call? I mean, every home is going to have little hairline cracks somewhere. Is the time to call you when they see something like that?
Well, if they see something like this, yes, it's kind of urgent. Ordinarily, poured concrete walls or concrete block walls all have some minimal settlement cracks in them. The vast majority of these cracks are not structural problems.
No.
However, if a crack is open greater than about 1/8 of an inch, then that's getting into trouble. If it's 1/4 of an inch, it absolutely needs attention.